This is the thing. Who you choose to hang around with, who you choose to have in your posse is exactly who you become. Choose your posse wisely. I'm here to tell you that putting yourself first is not selfish, it's revolutionary. Welcome to the Ayurvedic Woman Podcast, empowering women to light their lives on fire through Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality, and fitness.
Jai Bhagwan, woman warriors, and welcome to the Ayurvedic Woman Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Satyavani, and I have my fabulous co-host, as always, here with us,
Prajna Madhavi. Hi, everyone.
Yay! It's Friday.
Yep, it's Friday.
It's Friday, and it is 76 degrees outside.
It's kind of hot.
Yeah, you know what?
Hot.
It's so fun. Isn't it amazing how we go from that? Yeah. We go from like, oh my God, it's so cold, to like, I'm sweating to death. Because it jumped 20 degrees.
Yeah. It would help if I didn't leave my heater on in my car, so that when I get in my car, I'm like, God, it's hot in here.
Same.
Like,
Same.
oh, yeah.
Well, because in the morning,
Yeah.
you know, at the times that we get up and we're starting to do our thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I still have my, it's turned on all the way on red. You know?
Got the seat heater on. I'm like, man.
Oh,
It's so
seat
hot.
heaters.
Yeah.
I remember those.
Yeah.
Michael has a
Don't
seat
put them on
heater.
high, though, people. Keep it on low.
Listen
The
to
high
him.
is not good for you.
You get a butt
Feels
burn.
good for the point, but it's, yeah.
A little bit of a butt burn.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Well, Michael has the same car. I mean, your car is
Similar.
newer
Yeah.
than his. But he had the seat heater. When I had a Subaru, I had a seat heater, and now I don't. But as Michael always says, he's like, but your car heats up a lot faster. And it does.
Yeah.
Because it's just boom.
Tiny.
Yep, tiny. Oh, my God. So we digress. Sorry, friends.
No.
But we are very happy that here in Boise, Idaho, it is 76 degrees. The sun is out. It has been a long, gray, wet winter. And last week we had friggin' snow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, people.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking right before this. I took a walk with friend Christy Williams,
Mm-hmm.
and we were catching up. And she said to me, she's like, I have a feeling we might get one more snow before this is over. I'm like, shh,
Mm.
do not put that in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it's not. It's supposed to be high 70s this weekend. So,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that
Not
it just.
too low next week. It was looking like it was going to be.
What do they say now? Because like the weather and being a weather person is the only job that you can be wrong like 75% of the time
Yeah.
and still keep your job. Like
Yeah.
how is that possible?
Mm-hmm.
But what is it supposed to be? It's supposed to be in the 50s or 60s?
Yeah, 60s,
Okay.
mid 60s, but then goes down to like a 52 day.
Okay.
So
As the
there's still
high?
there's still some swings.
All right.
I'll take 52.
I'll
Yeah.
take it over the 30s any day of the week.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I am happy that we're here today.
Yeah,
It's
me too.
good. It's good to see you.
Mhm.
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
Let's check in. I want to hear from you how things are going, and you know what your wellness check-in is. And I think we're actually of similar ilk this week.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I don't feel like I've pushed it that hard, but that run from 2 weeks ago just kind of messed me up.
Yeah.
Like my hips have not been the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been really dealing with just some moving around pain in the, piriformis, upper glute, lower back, outside the hip, inside the hip,
Hamstring.
hamstring.
Totally.
Yeah, just down the calf,
Mhm.
tibialis in the front, like just, yeah. So it's,
Is it all one side or is it
no,
rotating?
it likes to rotate.
Okay.
Because I got the bad knee on one side.
Yeah.
Got now the hip issue on the other. And then one day it was bad glute on the right side. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay. So finally when the glutes stopped hurting, I was like, okay, we're on the upswing. And then I started getting this pain in my, pectineus, I think is, since I looked it up and was trying to figure out which. So I got
a pain in my ass. Let's just call it that, okay?
pain in my crotch right now.
I got a pain in my crotch. I got a pain in my ass, and it all sucks.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
So I was going to do a sculpt class last night. Well, I did. But
Okay.
right before, I was just kind of putting my shorts on. I was just kind of, like put my hands on my hips. I was like, huh. Like,
Uh-oh.
my left side's kind of like bumpy.
Bumpy.
Like I got a little swollen
Yeah.
right there. And so I'm like, what is that about? And so then me being me,
Of
like,
course.
that's all I can think about. So all the like blood rushes to that one spot. And so it I feel it there, and like my heart is pumping through this one spot, and I'm just every move I make, I'm like, oh, am I making it worse? And so, yeah,
I love you so
I know.
much.
You love watching me go through all of this.
No. It's just, it's great because like what I love about it is that you know it.
Yes.
Like you're like, this is my process.
Mhm.
And yes. So
Yeah.
continue.
So, today, thought about it all day. Of course, it hurt all day because I'm thinking about it.
Of
Trying
course.
not to sit down to, cramp that spot and trying to stand up and put my leg out to the side. I think my kids thought, like, what is she doing sometimes? But, yeah, iced it. Then I end up going to like a primary care just to make sure it's nothing.
Oh my God. You are so funny.
I know.
Oh my God.
Just
Because you thought what?
Like I said, it's a $20 rule something out, like just $20 peace of mind. And the guy was like, he's like, don't think it's anything but a sore muscle, but here's things that there's a chance, so watch for it. But he's like,
great. And he put that right in your head.
Yeah, puts that in my head. But luckily, I'm past that, I think.
You are.
Like, I'm making those steps.
I'm proud of you.
Yes.
I'm proud.
So I go in thinking this really is just a sore muscle. I'm really just here for peace of mind. And if I get peace of mind, it's going to start to feel better because then I know it's not something that I have to do something about. So
Do you have peace of mind? Does it feel better?
Yes. Like walking up the stairs, I'm like, okay, well, I
You know what?
feel
Next time I just
something.
want you to give me the $20.
Yeah, I know. I will just text you and like Venmo $20.
Thank you. Like Lucy from the Peanuts, 5 cents.
You do not have headlights.
You do not have headlights.
You'd actually be really rich probably for me right now.
You know what? You're starting to put me onto a new business plan
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
I would never do that to you.
Yeah. But I think I do need a bit of a break. I think the hips are kind of like,
Great.
yeah. I think walking is still good, like still staying active and
Of course.
mobile, but working more on mobility stuff and walking and, working on upper body since right now nothing up there hurts. So
For the moment.
yeah, for the moment.
Exactly.
And just keeping active, but knowing that that's a problem area and let's get it healed before you really mess it up. And then you have to stay off of it for longer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I always think about.
Okay.
I'm not good at it, but
Oh, I'm terrible at it.
yeah.
Yeah. What I appreciate about these conversations and what I appreciate about us sharing these conversations with all the women out there who are listening is A, they're very real, and B, like, this is the deal. When you get into, your later 40s, I mean, I'm staring down 50 in a couple of months here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the shit that happens, and it's very, very real. Like, we don't have 20-year-old bodies anymore. Now, I feel like great at my age. You feel great. We're doing the stuff, et cetera. But like, it comes with, wear and tear. And so if people out there think that like, oh, they just have this, perfect fitness plan and like their bodies respond to everything, smoothly. And that's why they can do this, that, and the other. Like, this is fucking hard work. And there's a lot of mental game that goes with it. And like, it hurts. This week, like, I'm with you, sister. I'm with you. Did you do Ultimate this week?
No, I did
Okay.
not. No, because it's on every
Oh,
Wednesday.
that's right, because we had the Dharma Circle.
So I'm doing every other week when we're not on the Dharma Circle. But I'm probably gonna show up next week, but probably just not play.
Gotcha.
'Cause
What is that like? I don't know really anything about Ultimate Frisbee. So like, does everybody just like go to a field and like run around and like? I mean, what's the
that's
drill?
what it looks like.
Okay.
It's 7 people on a side. You have one side basically throws the frisbee to the other side. The other side then is trying to get the frisbee to the opposite end zone.
Okay, just kind of like football.
So you have essentially 3 handlers in the front, 3 or 2, kind of depends. And then you have what are called cutters downfield. They can either be in a vertical stack or horizontal stack.
Okay,
And then they're just running.
is that you?
Not anymore.
Okay. As of
I
next
got-
week, no.
I got to be decent enough at throwing that I get to be a handler. Now, handlers still have to run because if you throw it to somebody, you got to go get it from them. So you still have to run a bit. And sometimes if you have someone that's slower than you, then maybe you're the person that gets to score. I don't think that's going to be me. Rarely right now, but But yeah, so
Okay.
it's a lot
But
of
it's
running.
a lot of running.
It's a lot of running.
Yeah.
In cleats on grass.
Oh,
It's not ideal, but it's something that I'm doing because with the right mindset, I want it to be fun. Like I want to do it for
Yes.
fun and not be tied up in being as good at it as I used to be. I know that's not going to happen, but just the mobility piece and the honestly getting me out of the house and getting me around other people.
sure.
Creating a bigger social circle, people that I used to know and hang out with. And so that's all kind of why I
Why you
chose,
chose
I'm
to
not
do it.
going to do it if I don't sign up. And it's something I can do that's somewhat active and I don't suck at it. And yeah.
And you're having fun.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it.
So, yeah. I tend to get there and be like, I get a little competitive. So it's
Really?
going to be a challenge for
You
me.
competitive? No, not at all.
So it's going to be a challenge. To see these 20-year-olds like running around.
yeah.
I'm going to be like,
Oh, but hon, they're going to be 40 someday.
I know.
Oh,
Just you wait.
exactly. It's coming. It's coming.
It's like the, what is it? Fried green tomatoes?
Yes.
Tawanda.
Yes.
Face it, lady. We are younger and faster. She hits their car. Face it, girls. I'm older and have more car insurance. That kind of thing.
Hands
Yeah.
down. Oh, it's so great.
Such a good scene.
It is.
Because it really is like,
Spot on.
yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
spot on. No, I love
So-
it. Well, good.
So yeah, so you said you were kind of, I mean, that's a lot of physical level.
Yeah.
I feel like the emotion and the, as we're going to talk about today,
Mental,
the mind
emotional. Yep.
plays a huge part in everything that I'm going through right now.
Yep.
So
Well, where's your mind at with all of this? Let's let's talk about that.
2 days ago, my mind was like, I'm going to stop thinking that my knee is hurt
Okay.
and that it has anything wrong with it.
And
And
how'd
that's
that
been a
work?
challenge.
Okay.
I've been writing it down and really
Nice.
trying to make it an affirmation.
What's
so-
the affirmation?
Except today, it's like my knee's fine, but my hip hurts. So it's like it's moving around. So really trying to create the affirmation of I have a strong, healthy body.
Yes, you do.
And even when it, say, is injured, it's still very healthy and strong, and you can deal with these injuries the right way.
Yep.
So yeah, mentally, it's for me especially. It's very hard for me.
Okay.
So
It's great that you can be open about that.
yeah,
And you're not alone.
mm-hmm.
So many people, so many women are we live in a very heady world.
Yeah, because I know today we're going to talk about that mind chatter, and it's constantly going for me, and it's staying out of that negative loop and just replacing it with a positive. So
Good.
yeah.
Well, it's going to be a great conversation.
How about you? So
You
you're
know,
kind of in the same space.
I'm in the same space. It's very interesting. You and I are in the same space, but differently.
Mm-hmm.
So, physically this week, it's week 6, finishing week 6 of the shred phase, and fucking tired, just tired.
Not getting enough calories.
Yeah, it's you know what, the calories are the least part of it. It
Mm.
is the time I'm putting in, which is great, the workouts, and I love it when I'm doing it. I don't think I'm getting enough sleep.
Mm.
So the fatigue is coming because
Because you're doing the Krav at night.
correct.
Again.
And or I'm teaching at night.
Mhm.
It's one of those. So it's either Krav is happening at night, or I'm either teaching a HIIT class, or we're teaching the Dharma Circle. Either way,
Yeah.
my day is ending anywhere between 7, and 8 o'clock at night. And by time the wind down
When
happens,
a girl gets up at 4 a.m.
exactly, and like
Wind down's at 5.
right, exactly. So jealous, so jealous.
No.
Yeah.
But I'm Dharma
Yeah.
Circle. I
Yeah.
teach Thursdays.
Right.
You
You teach Thursday night, exactly.
Yeah.
So like when 8 o'clock rolls around, or 7 or 8 o'clock, and then it is this, it's a minimum of a 90-minute wind down, and it's like, and I would like to spend some time with my husband.
Yeah.
That would be nice. And nighttime is like our thing. We do a little dinner thing. We watch the show together, and then we do all of the chores. Like, he's doing the dishes and I'm taking out the trash, and we're, setting up for, our squirrel farm, the whole thing, squirrel and bird farm. Now we have ducks.
Snow Whites.
Exactly. So it's like we have all of that stuff to do. So like the quickest I'm getting into bed is like 9:00 at night.
Yeah.
And then 4 a.m. wraps around really fast.
And when you're like, as we're learning, as you're doing so much activity, your body doesn't have that time to repair.
It doesn't. So today, I finished teaching at Fit Body, and I went home and I had something to eat and climbed into bed and took a nap. And I got to tell you, it was magical. But I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I'm sore. Like really, because a lot of my workouts this week I've been doing with the 30-pound weighted vest on. So like did all of the HIIT classes this week with the 30-pound vest on. Yeah. And then in PT, August has me doing Jacob's ladder, which is, like literally a ladder that you climb. And it's, it looks like a Stairmaster, but you actually have to climb it. And that with 30 pounds on my back. And yeah, I mean, it's been no joke this week. I'm putting in a lot of work right now.
Yeah.
And then it was interesting talking about like your hip and everything like that. So in Krav this past week, I went for a front kick and I stiffened up. And so I pulled a hamstring, but it repaired a lot faster than it would have in the past because my legs are stronger now. But, so like today, like you got to get the motor running a little bit. So a couple people are like, why are you limping? Like it's stiff. But one of the conclusions that I came to today is like with the running, I just, I don't like it. I don't like to run.
Yeah.
And so actually Christy Williams, who I went for a walk with today, she was like, if you don't like it, why are you doing it? And I'm like, oh God, like Christy Williams, shame on you for the wisdom. I love you, girl.
How dare you be logical?
Exactly. How dare you do that to me, girl?
You
but
bitch.
I know, exactly. But she knows. I mean, she's an excellent trainer, and she said, she's like, I say this to my clients all the time. If you don't like doing it, then don't do it. If you don't like eating it, don't eat it. That kind of thing. So, I'm evaluating that. I'm taking some time right now to evaluate that because Holly and I have a 10K that's coming up next month, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. So I'm giving myself the space for that. So that's on the physical level, but on the mental, emotional level, I think where we diverge a little bit is I don't get trapped in my head about like, oh my God, the injury did. I'm just like power through. Like I just have a different, and obviously one's not better than the other. I just have a different way of thinking about it where I'm just like, okay, this is annoying. You got to get past it. And that has not always worked in my favor. It's definitely, so there are times when I'm like, I just, I power through, and that has not, how should I say, it can be a disadvantage where something can become a little bit more chronic for a longer period of time. And I was actually saying this to Coach Jesse today at Fit Body. Like after I taught in the morning, I had a break, and so usually what I do is that between the two sessions, I'll go to the gym and I'll work out. I'll get my workout in. And today I was like, I'm driving because this is how I drive. And
how we all drive.
That's it.
10 and 2, baby.
That's it.
Oh, it's 9 and 3.
And I'm like, I could just go home. I could go home and eat breakfast and rest. I could do that, but I don't.
Yeah.
And like there's this drive thing in my head that I'm just like, nope, you go to the gym. And it's like that I think is the very disciplined side of me. And there's some times where I'm like, is that good or is that not good? Now I always feel better after I go.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. I actually think my mind starts to play out. Like if I didn't go, then I'm like, why didn't you go?
Oh, I do that too.
Like
I'm equal opportunist.
Equal opportunity, Manomaya Kosha.
Any opportunity.
Yeah. So like that's where and I felt great, going, et cetera. But I'm definitely doing more walking an incline rather than running. Like I attempted to run today, ran about a mile just on the treadmill, and it was like, it's cranky. So, but energetically, feel good, just tired this week, and that's okay. So I've taken more breaks this week, which has been nice. And then I'd say, spiritually, I feel pretty connected right now.
Nice.
Like in the space, like doing the stuff.
Good.
In the Dharma. Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we have like a very interesting topic, and I hope all of you gals find this very interesting as well. We're going to talk about the mind body, so to speak, the Manomaya Kosha, which is the belief that we are our thoughts and that what goes on in our mind is actually reality. So from a Vedic perspective. So mano meaning the mind, maya meaning illusion, and kosha meaning the sheath. So it is the mind illusion sheath that like we are our thoughts. And so just to give a little Vedic background on this, from that perspective, we see the mind that has basically two components. There is what is known as the ahamkara, which is the ego mind, which I tend to call the hijacker. And then there is the other side of the mind known as the mahad, or our cosmic intelligence. It is the wisdom, the intuition, the things it is that we intuitively know. And so just to give that background so that people understand that you are not schizophrenic, you actually have two parts to your mind that are often in battle with one another. So part of our discussion today is going to be the hijacking mind, which happens to everybody. Everybody's mind gets hijacked, and it is because the ego, the ahamkara, believes that it knows best, and it's also the loudest part of your mind.
Perfect example today.
Yes,
intuitively, I probably have nothing wrong with me. Like, it's just a sore
I like the
muscle.
word probably.
Yeah.
You don't have anything wrong with you.
So I'm thinking, just go home, rest it, ice it. You're going to be fine. You know what's wrong.
You're going to live.
And yet the ego is like, just to be safe. Let's go get it checked out just to be safe. Because that is the ego's primary goal, right? Safety.
It's there to protect you.
But it was the fact that I thought that that's what would keep me safe, is go see the doctor and have him tell me that there's nothing wrong.
Do you have my Venmo address? You just send me the $20. Yeah, it's easy. No, but it's a great example.
Yeah.
It's a great example. So this idea of the ahamkara, the ego mind that protects us, is literally its own purpose, is to provide protection. So as an example, you are walking down the street, cars come speeding by, your ego mind says, get out of the way. And that is its purpose. Or you are walking into an environment that your ego says, your intuition will be like, I'm not sure if this is safe. And the ego will say, get out of there. So the two of them, the cosmic intelligence, the mahad, and the ego mind, the ahamkara, can actually work symbiotically in tandem and benefit you. But what often happens is that because the ego mind is the loudest, it derails us and it hijacks our brilliance. And so what happens is we start to lose the connection with our intuition. And this week with the Dharma Circle, we were talking about intuition. So,
yeah.
Yep. Examples. I think we were talking about what you are observing in the yoga room, in your classroom, all of that with the ego mind and the cosmic intelligence. And I think we had a discussion a little bit about like students.
Yeah.
In the room.
Yeah. Students a lot of the time, they don't follow their intuition. They try to push through certain postures. They don't, I mean, I guess it's kind of beyond them, like staying with me. Like they don't have to do that, but they are doing a posture incorrectly I don't even know if they're aware enough to know that it's incorrect, but they're pushing through thinking this is going to get me what I think I want in my fitness, or when really, less is more is not always better.
Nope.
It's just more.
It's just more.
So I see that a lot in the yoga room, that people just, oh, I'm sweating. I'm I'm getting my workout in. Like, no, I got to do all the postures. And
Right.
even though they're in pain, like I'll have many students, they're like, this just doesn't feel good. Well, I'm like, well, then don't do the chaturangas.
Right.
If your shoulder hurts, don't do them.
Right.
Like, well, but I feel like that's kind of, backing out. And I'm like, no.
No.
Do you want to have a hurt shoulder like in the future? Like, you can still do other things.
Yes.
You just don't do the chaturanga. That's simple.
Well, and it's such a great example, because I think what we see in society a lot is the ego plays itself out in groupthink or group action. So, well, everybody else is doing this. They're doing it this way. And so therefore, if I don't, then either I'm not safe, or I'm not part of the group, or and that's when the ego can really begin to hijack. And we see that play itself out all over the place. People start doing things that are not necessarily in alignment with what their cosmic intelligence is. And they then go ahead and do what the ego is like, well, that's what everybody else is doing. You should do that. And it's this like ridiculous bullshit chitty chat kind of thing that is very, very loud in the mind. So,
which we always say, don't compare yourself to anyone. Don't judge yourself. Like, just show up on your mat. But it's as in life, like the microcosm is the yoga room, the macrocosm is your life. Trying to teach them that what you do in here is what we want you to try and do out there in the world.
Yes.
Like, slow down sometimes. You don't need to try and do everything.
Yep.
And
well, I'm kind of laughing at myself too, because like this week I really had a battle with the ahamkara side of my mind. It was like, well, you got these results the first month of shred. So, if you back off now, like, you're not going to get the results it is that you want. Even when it was like, you need some fucking sleep, And so, and I will say, I very successfully chose sleep, because I knew that's what it was that I needed. There was one night where it was like, I got a glorious 9 hours, and I'm like, yes. Like, I chose not to go to Krav at night. I'm like, I'm going to, come home, and I'm just going to have an early dinner, and I'm going to go to bed. But that requires a lot of conversation that happens in our minds. And so that dialogue, that chitty chat that is happening in your minds, gals, it is literally happening in your mind, and it is not you. That's the thing that's really important to know. We often think that we are our thoughts, and we are not. It is literally passing conversation that is just moving by in waves that has absolutely no relevance to you as a spiritual being, as a human being in this world, but rather just a strict conversation that the mind is just...
that inner roommate.
The
right?
inner roommate. That's right. If you had a roommate that spoke to you the way that you speak to yourself, or the way that your ahamkara talks to you, would you allow them to live with you anymore? That's the question.
They would never shut up.
Never.
They'd be like, hey, go get me a pizza, and just lock them out of the house.
That's it.
Because they would never shut up.
Ugh.
At least mine wouldn't. I would imagine most people's wouldn't.
Agreed. So the one thing that I also find that's very interesting, that I'm observing in like life right now, because I taught my first public power classes this week, which was really kind of fun, and that was great because I have the opportunity to be very creative with that. So I walked in the room on Thursday. And, there's only a few people in the room because it's 9:30 in the morning during the week. And like a lot of people, they run 9 to 5s. So that's a very special, time where people who are coming to that class are either retired or they work for themselves. They can make their own schedule or something like that. And I walked in and I said to the folks that were there, I'm like, so what's going on? What is it that you need? And like everybody looked at me like, I don't even know how to answer that question, because people aren't asked, and
No.
they're disembodied. They're disembodied in the sense that they're, especially in the yoga room, as this metaphor that we're talking about right now, they are told what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they walk into a class and they're asked, how are you feeling? To actually have them tap into their cosmic intelligence rather than being told what to do. And then as a result, the ego hijacks the mind and is like, well, I got to keep up with this person and I got to do this, etc. It was just a very fascinating experience. And
Yeah.
like at first, there was like the one gentleman I spoke to, he's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, that's all right. And then I had another gal who was just like, dealing with some knee stuff and some low back. I'm like, great. And then another gal was like, shoulders. And then the gentleman that I asked first, he was like, oh yeah, me too. All of those things. So
At all.
yeah, but it was nice to be able to like give people the opportunity to like, what's happening with you?
It's a way for them to also shift their idea that yoga is a workout
Correct.
and that they're there to heal.
Oh my God. I used that exact phrase. I said,
Yeah.
yoga is medicine.
Yeah.
And
They don't see it like that.
nope. And my job is to be the administrator of that medicine.
Mm-hmm. And from the get-go, I felt like Y6 that was one of the things that I liked about what they were telling us, was building those relationships with people as they're coming in, asking if they have any issues. New teachers don't do that. Some old teachers don't do that.
Right.
I feel like I have enough relationship with a lot of the students.
You
I
do.
have quite a few frequent flyers.
Yep.
So they're okay with telling me, hey, I've got this nagging thing. I'm like, well, here's something that you could do for it. But I would say a lot of teachers don't have that, and they just kind of go in and they do their thing, and then they, they're telling what people should do. They're going through the dialogue, and that, I think, setting that example of you asking people what they might need, I think that's where we need to go
Absolutely.
with Y6. And yeah.
Agreed. Well, and it was really interesting because after class, each of the students came up to me and was like, it's obvious you have a lot of experience in this, and like, thank you so much for asking, and like, that really triggered an inquiry for me and all of that, and like, and that's what you want.
And yeah, and we've got a lot of great teachers, and
Yes.
I think giving them that kind of power and giving them that opportunity to be like, hey, get more open about, helping students, like create those. I know they have those relationships.
Of course.
I mean, they have great relationships with the students, but I don't know if a lot of them feel like they could, ask or change what they say or to fit what the students need.
Yep.
So,
well, and that's, again, going back to this Manomaya Kosha, I think there's the yoga room or the classroom or the gym or even work life, etc., is a metaphor for these two divisions that happen in the mind. We have the ego mind that tells us, well, fit in and be a certain way so that you are, quote, accepted, because when you're accepted, then you're safe and all of that. And then the cosmic intelligence is saying, well, this might not be for you, or it's okay to be different, or it's okay to challenge this societal norm, and that plays itself out in our day-to-day lives. I think a lot of what goes on in the world now is the ego has completely hijacked and with things like AI and social media, etc., people are constantly being fed what to think, how to feel, and have no idea what it is that they think or they feel. And that is stealing your power.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just get trapped into that whole mind cycle, and we start to believe the things it is that we are told what to think and what to feel.
We start to cease being human, really.
Oh,
I mean, that's,
yes.
yeah. And I don't, sometimes I wonder if that's not the intent with AI.
Of course it is.
But that's
It's
that's
the intent.
what's happening. It's people, yeah.
The other thing is that, like, from an Ayurvedic perspective in this Vedic science, is that we can actually think ourselves sick.
No.
Doc in a box. Does that dog have fleas? Right? Can we share that story? I have to share the story.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
okay.
reference it all the time.
Oh my God, it's
Might
so
as
great.
well.
Yeah,
There's so many.
we reference the does that dog have fleas? Okay. This is the funny part about does that dog have fleas? So Prajna and I are in India, and we are in Goa,
Mm-hmm.
and we are on the beach in the Indian Ocean,
Mm-hmm.
like a place,
Arabian Sea.
Arabian
Indian
Sea,
Ocean, to be technical.
to
Yeah.
be very exacting.
Yeah.
Yes, the Arabian Sea, and
like,
it's
oh, we're in the Arabian Sea.
this is amazing.
And I'm just like, yeah.
And so on the beach, which is standard in India, on the beach there are these, random stray dogs running around. Like it's no
They're
different.
adorable. Love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dogs. Great.
Right. They're doing the thing, etc. And so Prajna had put her stuff down on the beach. It was a towel and I think a t-shirt or shorts or something. I don't know, etc. And so, like, we're in the Arabian Sea, and I'm like, I tell my husband Michael, I'm like, Michael, take a picture of us, etc. And so, like, we stand next to each other, we put our arms around each other, and she looks at me and she goes, "Does that dog have fleas?" I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" We are.
I prefaced it with
I know.
I'm
You
just
did,
going to
you
tell you
did,
right
you
now,
did,
this
you
is
did.
where my mind goes. That dog's sitting over there by my towel, and I'm sitting here thinking, does that dog have fleas? And the rest of the trip,
And
it was a joke.
and
for the
it's
rest of the
great.
trip.
And it's
Yep.
great. It's
Yep.
great because I actually think that's where a lot of people are.
Mhm.
They can think themselves sick because we have, unfortunately, built in this society this fucking doom and gloom.
Mhm.
And the doom and gloom then, like, gets into the mind, and it's like, oh my God, what if, what if, what if, what if? And from an Ayurvedic perspective, 75% of the diseases that happen in your body, like literally diseases, out of ease, whether it's the hip, whether it's the knee, whether it's the back, the stomach, whatever the case may be, comes from your mind. And when we allow the mind to run rampantly, you are going to get sick.
Mhm.
And then on top of it, we have all of this bullshit information that's being fed to us about who we should be, what we should think, how we should feel, what we should eat, fill in the blank.
Make sure you get your health insurance. Make sure you get your house insurance. Make sure you get
Exactly.
just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
What was it this week on the Dharma Circle?
I know.
Oh my
It
God,
just
wasn't
came
that
up.
amazing?
Yeah.
So one of the gals in the group decided, she's like, you know what? We're paying a lot for, was it homeowners insurance?
It was homeowners insurance.
Homeowners insurance. And she's like, you know what? I'm not sure if I'm going to pay for that anymore. And I was
Mhm.
like, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, challenge the system. Like, we do those things because somebody at some point in time told us that that's what we were supposed to do.
And when we say we don't, they're like, oh, you don't?
You don't.
What if?
Right.
Yeah.
And that right there, those two words,
Mm-hmm.
what if, is what screws our mind every time.
And hold us back from a lot of stuff.
And so we rest in the what if, and we don't think like, what does this mean for me? Like, what really does this feel like? And like, the reality is that, okay, I think about homeowners insurance. Like, this is a great example. I think about it. And it's like, yes, okay. And at the same time, I pay a lot of money for insurance every year. And like, what do I really get out of it?
Mm.
You know,
Peace of mind. Supposedly.
$20 for peace of mind.
Yep.
I'm paying a lot more than $20.
Yeah.
But
So am I.
But the point with all of it is that
But it's a sunk cost.
Yes.
Like, I paid all this money, and all I got
right,
was this piece of paper.
right. Well,
It says I have health insurance.
exactly.
Or home insurance.
Home insurance. Speaking of which, so this is another example, and I learned this from my old investment guy, Jeff Johnny, who retired a couple of years ago. And so every month, Michael and I pay into a life insurance policy. Okay. We actually call it death insurance because that's really what it is. But it's a term policy. So in like 6 years, it runs out. So like one of us has got to die in the next 6 years for it to have any value whatsoever. Okay. Because then I'm told that like, okay, well, if you want to buy in life insurance after that, which would make sense because we would be older, that the cost is astronomical. So I said to Jeff, I'm like, all right, homie, we just paid into this term policy. I think it was like 15 years or something like that. Like, where does that money go? And he's like, yeah, it's gone. So literally out of my bank account every month, there is, several $100s that goes out because Michael's older than I am. So we have to pay more for him than we do for me. And we pay several hundred, like that I will probably, like I just literally threw that in the trash.
I mean, sadly, it went to the all-cause mortality increase across the board.
You're killing me right now. Now I'm getting angry.
Yeah. It's like Social Security, right?
Right.
I'm paying for someone else to use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, and I calculate, like, we're not talking about an insignificant amount of money. And so, again, the mind. Okay. And like every single month, I got to pay into this. I got to pay into this. I got to pay into this. And it's like, I'm getting nothing out of it. Whereas like my cosmic intelligence would have been like, whatever, we're all going to die anyway.
Yeah.
So what does that really mean? Thinking ourselves sick. Do you think yourself sick a lot?
Less than I used to, I think.
That's
I
awesome.
don't get sick nearly as often now. I think the injuries, I sick myself or think myself injured.
Okay. That's fair.
So we're like, oh, this hurt. What if this happens?
I think
What
we
if?
need to take the what if out of the vocabulary.
Yeah, I like it.
Take what if out of your vocabulary and like tap into your cosmic intelligence, this Mahad, because soulfully we know the mind is a very, very tricky thing. And so this is the remedy. If you can get good with death, we've said this a million times in our teachings. If you can get good with death, you're good. And when I say death, I'm not just saying like physical death. Yes, that's one component, but like death of a relationship, death of a job, death of whatever. Like fill in that blank.
If you don't like the word death, think transformation.
There you go.
Right?
I like that.
Get good with transformation.
You know what? I like that word better.
Yeah.
Get good with transformation. Getting good with transformation changes everything because change is constant. That's common knowledge. But getting really good with it, because a lot of people are like, oh, change is constant, et cetera. And then like panic and sets in. If you can really, really get good with transformation and just say, okay, it is what it is, which is also part of developing resiliency that we spoke about last time. If you can really get good with that, then you're golden. You are absolutely golden. There is no way the ego, the ahamkara, can hijack your mind at that point. Because I think what people are really fearful of, it's not necessarily the transformation, it's pain. Right?
Yep.
Because I've had many people say to me, and even people who like that have passed are just like, I don't really feel death. I just don't want it to be painful. So get good with pain too.
Yeah.
And so believe it or not, these little aches and pains that you're experiencing right now are giving you the groundwork to develop resiliency around mind chatter.
Yeah.
And transformation.
Just as you were mentioning that, when you said, I don't want to have the pain in death, if you think of it as the transformation, then realizing and getting good with, there will be pain with leaving a relationship.
Yes, there will.
There will be pain with leaving a job. And all of that is okay. If you, practicing it. And I think one really good way to practice your intuition, getting out of the ego mind, is journaling.
Yes.
Because there's no judgment there. You can say whatever your intuition is coming up with, and just whatever comes out on the page. And then you can come back and read it and be like, damn, that was really good intuition that I had there. Like, why don't I follow that more often? Why didn't I do that? I said it in my journal entry. Why did I do something different? So I think that's a great record of your intuition versus the ego.
I love that. I forgot what I saw this somewhere in the etherverse out there that says your ego is going to keep you trapped in the should, where your cosmic intelligence will open you up to possibilities. And I love that.
Yeah.
Because we get very trapped in the should. And part of it was this idea of, why aren't you taking that vacation? Why aren't you spending time with this person? Why aren't you doing the things it is that actually brings you joy? Because the ego keeps you trapped in the should. And for some reason, that should is like so much louder than possibilities. Because we have this mind game where we think that the should is going to lead us to what it is that we want. Well, I should do this, so therefore if I do it, then I will get what it is that I want. Whereas the idea of the Mahad, the cosmic intelligence, intuitively tapping into the possible, doesn't have anything that we can control. It's just like, this could happen. And isn't that interesting? Any other thoughts?
No.
The Manomaya Kosha, friends, you gotta love it, and at the same time, you have to understand it. So get good with transformation, and everything will fall into place. Allow the possible to happen and get away from the should. And if you don't need insurance, don't worry about it. So we have an oracle card for the week.
Yes, we do.
All right, let's see. This is from our life purpose deck once again. And what is it?
Artist.
Artist. Creating the tapestry of our lives.
Get me towards the front. Okay.
Yep.
Engaging in artistic activities is beneficial to your career and every other area of your life. Your inner world is colorful, and this card is a reminder that your career can be colorful as well. With your artistic eye, you naturally gravitate toward beautiful shades, shapes, and objects. Now the angels want to bring artistry into your career field. You will feel more fulfilled with work that helps you express your inner artist. You drew this card because it's important for you to take action steps as the artist you truly are. If you had unlimited time and money, what type of creative work would you engage in? Your answer to this question indicates a beneficial avenue for you to explore now. In fact, this is precisely what will open up all of your channels so that you experience more support, time, and creative energy. So please take the opportunity to engage in something artistic, such as painting, jewelry. I already know what mine would be. Dancing. Making an art course, sketching, sewing, and so forth. Your finished creation may or may not become the basis of a commercial venture. However, your actions and artistic expression will definitely have a positive effect upon your career and every other area of your life. And I just got the clever fox, right?
Oh, the clever fox.
And I was putting in the little things about what brings you joy, and music and dance definitely came up. Like I kind of forget how much I really love to sing, to dance.
You know what? We should go out dancing.
Absolutely.
Let's go do that.
Yeah.
Let's put that on the list.
Like, I'm not talking about girls got a time limit.
Oh God,
I will drive separate.
Drive separate. Is there parking? How loud is it going to be? Yeah. No, we'll choose the venue that is
I've looked
appropriate
at,
for us.
The whole salsa dancing thing.
Totally.
Is like a group for all the fit body and everybody, or like
all
even
the
like
women.
a country line dancing.
That one, I don't know if I can do that.
Salsa dancing.
It's right. Yeah. I will admit, folks, the one genre of music I just
I
can't.
wouldn't mind like some hip hop.
Oh, see now you're talking my language.
Or some girls might like burlesque. I don't know if that's ever been. This is probably a little too racy, but the hip hop would be a lot of fun.
The racy part of it's not that's not the thing at all. I don't find like people who do that, who do burlesque, fantastic. Like, enjoy yourself. It's art. It's body movement. I'm all about it. It's just not my style. Just like country music isn't. I don't really put. It's not a judgment. It's just not my style. But I'm all about that hip hop.
Yeah.
And salsa. That's a lot of fun. So we should definitely do that. Let's rally it up for sure. So if you want to join us, let us know. We'll be there. Well, folks, we are coming to the end of our podcast, but before we conclude, we are launching on May 1st our Woman Warrior Academy online community membership base. We are so excited about it. You're going to have all of this information. There is going to be a 108-day challenge to get yourself set and reset from all levels of the koshas, that physical, energetic, mental, emotional, consciousness, and spiritual self. And we are excited that it is going to launch. But we want to hear from you. So hearing from you means go to thewomanwarrioracademy.com and fill out the form that says, yes, I am interested in the online community. We just ask for your name, phone number, and email address, and then as soon as it is launched, we will send out the information. We are starting to get inquiries. It's very nice. I know, I'm very excited. But we have so much to share, and we also want to build this community with the people who are also participating. So not only will you receive information, but you will also have the opportunity to engage in a variety of different ways. So thewomanwarrioracademy.com. Fill out the online community inquiry, and we hope to hear from you soon. Anything else, my friend?
I feel like we're thinking of some pretty exciting things with our podcast coming up too.
We do. We will have some guests coming up, which is exciting, and I'm hoping that the next podcast after this, we will have that. We're looking at doing a women's power circle once a month. So having a discussion thrown out there in the universe, and then we will we'll chew on it together collectively.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Jai Bhagwan, and thank you for joining us. We are so happy that you were here, and we hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. And as always, may your soul be victorious.
Is life hard? Yeah, it's really fucking hard. And you can also have the life it is that you want. You just got to work for it.